Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping into a classic folktale from India, but this is way more than just a simple story. It's actually a super sharp, witty takedown of bad government and, completely messed up justice. Seriously, get ready for a tale that's just as hilarious as it is profound.
This one proverb, it's the key to the entire story. Basically, it says, in the city of darkness with a foolish king, vegetables and sweets sell for the same cheap price. I mean, just think about that. It paints this picture of a kingdom where nothing has its proper value, where everything's just chaos. So let's see how this all unfolds.
Okay, so our story kicks off with a wise guru and his disciple. They show up at the gates of this city and it looks amazing, right? But as you can probably guess, appearances can be, well, pretty deceiving.
So the disciple heads into the market and he is just blown away. And you can see why here. Everything, and I mean everything, from basic stuff like flour to fancy sweets, it's all sold for the exact same ridiculously low price. They call it a takasare. It makes no sense, right? It's this total breakdown of value, and that kind of thing, it makes a whole society really, really unstable.
The disciple? Well, he thinks he's hit the jackpot, like he's found paradise on earth, so he runs back to his master all excited. But that excitement is about to get shut down big time.
Yeah. The guru is horrified. He gets it immediately. He sees the danger. He tries to explain, hey, a place that can't tell the difference between basic food and fancy desserts, that place is broken. It's not safe. But the disciple, he's so caught up in his own greed, he just won't listen. He's like, nope, I'm staying. So the guru leaves, and the disciple just starts living it up, feasting every day. But his good times are about to come to a screeching halt thanks to the king's, let's just say, bizarre sense of justice.
It all kicks off when a guy storms into the king's court and he is furious. He's demanding justice because, get this, a merchant's wall fell down and killed his goat. And he's adamant, someone has to pay for this.
And what happens next is just this hilarious game of pass the blame. The king calls in the merchant, who says, not my fault, blame the mason. The mason says, nope, the mortar maker gave me bad stuff. The mortar maker blames the water carrier, who blames the blacksmith, who blames the shepherd, and it goes on and on until somehow the blame lands on the city's police chief. And why? For holding a parade that was too loud. You can't make this stuff up.
So the king, following this logic, sentences his own police chief to death for a dead goat. It just goes to show you, in this kingdom, the whole idea of justice is a complete joke.
But wait, it gets even crazier. This quick, foolish decision is about to hit a very unexpected problem. And this is where we see just how deep the nonsense in this kingdom really goes.
So they get to the gallows and, oops, there's a problem. The hangman's noose is way too big for the police chief's neck. A little technical difficulty, you could say.
So what's the king's solution? Well, in his twisted mind, the logic is a goat is dead, so someone has to hang for it. He basically says, forget who's guilty, just go find someone in the city who's fat enough to fit this noose. And who do you think they find? Yep, it's our disciple. He's gotten nice and fat from eating all those cheap sweets every day. His greed has literally brought him to the executioner's block for a crime he had absolutely nothing to do with.
Now, completely terrified, the disciple finally remembers what his master warned him about. He desperately calls out for him, and just like that, with perfect dramatic timing, the wise guru shows up. The guru gets the lowdown on what's happened, sees how ridiculous the whole situation is, and comes up with a brilliant plan. A plan to use the king's own foolishness against him. He leans in and whispers it to his student.
All of a sudden, the guru and the disciples start arguing, loudly, right in front of everybody. The guru is shouting, let me go first, I'm the guru, I should be hanged. And the disciple plays his part perfectly. He's yelling back, no, Guruji, it's my destiny, I will be hanged. So you've got this bizarre scene of two guys literally fighting over who gets to be executed. The king is just completely confused. He demands to know what in the world is going on. Why are they fighting to die? And this is where the guru's plan gets really clever. He spins this amazing story telling the king that this is a uniquely holy moment in time. The first person hanged today doesn't actually die. They go straight to heaven. Well, the greedy, foolish king hears this and he completely falls for it. A shortcut to heaven? He can't let anyone else have that, so he declares, no one can go to heaven while I'm king. Hang me first.
And just like that, the king was hanged. The city got rid of its idiotic ruler and, I guess in a weird, roundabout way, justice was served. And of course, the guru and his disciple were safe.
So what's the big takeaway here? This story is a huge warning, right? It shows you exactly what happens when leaders are fools, when a society can't tell what's valuable and what's not, and when our own greed makes us blind to some really obvious dangers.
And, this ancient story leaves us with a really modern question to think about. In a world full of misinformation and chaos, how do we make sure our own city doesn't become like this? How do we make sure we're valuing the right things and recognizing real justice? It's something to chew on. Thanks for tuning in.